Good evening, Angus. How are you on this BQB episode 23, the final episode? That's enough.
Um,
We've done it.
done.
Till next week.
Doing next week.
Till
Yeah,
next week. Oh,
well, I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
clickbait, that is.
Wait,
What are you
I like
drinking?
it. I've got a Dad and Dave Belgian English IPA.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah, I got that in my new beer subscription pack last month. So I've
Good.
already had one of them. Yeah, it's really nice mix of the styles. English IPA, so a bit earthy. I'm pretty sure it's made with Fuggles. And just a really nice kind of back note of spices from the Belgian yeast. It's a really good blend of the styles.
Very cool. I
Mm.
popped down to Carbon 6, our friends down at Stapleton, and I purchased the Fantasy, which is their raspberry coconut vanilla sour. Um, it sounds like a lot, but it's really well balanced. It's absolute spring in a can. It's fresh, just a little bit tart. There's not much coconut there, but you get the vanilla and you get the raspberry, and just a little bit of sour. Not too much. It's probably sort of consumer friendly intro level sort of sour. Um, but it is on a warm day. I had one earlier today, and it is just super refreshing, really well balanced. It's an absolute cracker, and it's not sponsored content. It's grab yourself some of that Carbon Six Fantasy if you can, because it's an absolute cracker.
Yeah, Reese has got a really good handle on um, balanced beers and um, just pushing out uh, I say entry level beers, but I don't mean that in a bad way at all. Like really approachable, gentle beers that you can kind of give to anyone and they'll enjoy them. Yeah, he's got a good handle on that style.
Yeah, and he's off at the moment too because he's getting pins put in his back or something awful like that too. So um,
Ooh, jeez.
yeah,
Really?
yeah. So he's not throwing around bags of malt at the moment. So if you're listening, Reese, all the best. Hope you rest up and yeah, hope your back gets better. So moving on to beer news. So we had, well, I had quite a lot of positive responses flowing in from the Brennan Fielding episode last week. I thought it was a really good, fun chat. Yourself?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it was a good, valuable conversation. There was some serious questions, some rubbish questions.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's a good chat.
yeah. It was fun. I hope they get a lot out of it because it was a really good opportunity to speak to him, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm going to have to go down and jump on the brew deck ooh, I don't know what that was. I'm going to have to jump down on the brew deck at uh, where is it? Oh, Parenti when he's down there next.
Renting.
Yeah, yeah. Also, Sabrina Kunz has taken up the interim CEO role at the IBA for the next 12 months. She's a strong legal lobbyist focused sort of background. So it'll be really interesting to see what she can do with this space. She's a strong, passionate woman, and I really I'm keen to see what ideas she has that may be different to Kylie. So it'll be really cool to see what they do there. Um, in not so good news, Shifty Lizard Brewing in South Australia have made the incredibly decision to close up after nearly 10 years. Sad to hear another brewery finishing up shop. And you had a little bit of news on the Curly Lewis Brewery.
Yeah, Killer Brewing in Bondi has gone into liquidation. Uh, yeah, late last year it was involved in a mistaken arson attack that apparently was meant to be targeting a nearby synagogue. Um, but I think owing $8.6 million, I don't, certainly the fire didn't help things, but it's not the sole cause of the liquidation. Um, Bondi seems like a pretty good location for a brewery or a bar. Um, but again, they kind of state the common reasons, rising costs, high rent, um, tough economic climate for the industry. And I saw some mentions of it being pretty tough to compete against the local RSL and icebergs, which is right on the beach. And I don't know if you've ever been to icebergs, but it's got magnificent views across Bondi and across the ocean. It would be pretty hard to compete with that.
It's like Burley Pavilion down here on the Goldie. It's just money can't buy views, but also RSLs they can they can sort of subsidise some of their pokey income because it's all invested back into the club, so they can actually charge a lot less for their drinks and meals to get more people in to play their more pokies and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
clubs can subsidise some of their alcohol income and some of their food income too. In similar news from across the Dutch, Fortune Favours wound up its Wellington brew pub only weeks after being at Beervana. Um, However, Garage Project have just announced they will take over the site, and by the sounds of it, they're going to invite the team to come and be part of the Garage Project family, which uh, is just an absolute win-win for all of those people involved. Garage Project gets a brew pub in Wellington, in a good spot, and hopefully a lot of those people involved in Fortune Favours still get to keep their jobs. So I just think that's a really good story from them, and I'm really happy that Garage Project have been able to crunch the numbers and see that maybe they're trying to do a mountain culture um, and buy up some of those by the struggling places. So yeah, with the
So,
closure,
are there any places in Wellington that they don't own? Like Garage
yeah,
Project are a bunch of venues in Wellington.
yeah, there's a few.
Like
What's that?
two or three.
Arrow Street? Is it Arrow Street? Arrow Street? Yeah. Um, yeah, it's not that they probably didn't need it, but yeah, it'll be cool to see. Anyway, um, I had with the closure of Wayward on Sunday at the old site. Opportunity has arisen for a couple of smaller producers to band together and create the Misfit Tap Room, which opens today or tomorrow. It's the Social Brewers, Queens of Chaos, and Sundowner Brewing have joined forces, with the latter two being contract brewers. And Bo Curtis, his Social Brewers are located in southern Sydney. So we've seen the images of the fire sale from Wayward since it was moulded with Akasha and then sold to the UK group, and they're going to focus their production out of Akasha. So that site was going to be empty. So I'm really glad that Misfit has come from the ashes. There should be Misfit Phoenix or something like that. So that'll be cool to see. The Social Brewers in a bit further up into the inner west.
Is all the brew gear still there?
Which one's that?
Is all the brew gear and tanks still there, or was that all sold off?
I know I remember seeing it was a pretty much flash sale. They were selling pretty much all of the equipment, but I don't know what stage that Bo and the other consortium came in. So maybe they kept some of the brew kit. Maybe they're just going to run it as a tap room and maybe not brew there. But the two contract brewers being involved, it probably makes sense. They might be able to grab a kit and do some of their own stuff. So um,
Yeah.
that might be a big step up for those two contract brewers to actually be brewing on their own kit. So hopefully, there's probably some stuff still there. Maybe the bigger tanks, and yeah. So not sure, or they might put in some new stuff. Um,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the work would already be done with the site being certified already, and the licenses and all that stuff. You just got to buy some tanks and stuff,
well, the biggest
maybe
thing is
soon.
like your wastewater and your energy and your flooring and all your tanks, locations. But if they were able to come in at a certain stage before a lot of that was ripped out, yeah, like it might be a really good opportunity for them. I had Torella Brewing has been in the news again. It's been issued a notice with the notice to close. They've started up a GoFundMe page to fight their legal battle with the Sunshine Coast City Council. It's really, really odd. It sounds like the Sunshine Coast Council has decided that they're not following their fit for purpose at the venue, even though they've done the same thing for nearly 10 years. So when they were told that, they put in the application to change the purpose, which I think cost them a couple of $100,000 to put in this application. But in the meantime, they've been told to cease trading, even while that application process is going through. So Torella are trying to fight that, saying, look, we just can't close and then open again if these applications go through. We need to, pay suppliers and ourselves and everything like that, even though I don't think the owners do. To me, it really sounds like a new neighbour or a disgruntled employee or supplier is really behind a lot of this issue, because there was another complaint made last month that they were selling spirits, which they're not allowed to do according to their license. Torella said that, no, we don't sell spirits because we're not allowed to. You're only allowed to sell what they produce there. But it seems odd that someone has looked into their, what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do to make that complaint to start with. So I just think it's, that area is growing. Maybe Sunshine Coast and maybe a developer wants the land, because I think that's 20 plus hectares they're on. They probably just want to, develop the land, and they're just fighting Torella, at every stage. It's just, it sounds like a really tough situation for them. A lot of their customers are helping them fight. So watch this space, I guess.
Yeah, the GoFundMe page also mentioned that. So yeah, they've got the brewery has the application in, and they've been told to cease trading, so they're kind of fighting the application side. But then the council's also taking the two owners. Um, there's something else, didn't quite say, I don't quite remember, but there's also personal cases against the two owners from the council as well.
Yeah,
So there's something more to the story.
because the two owners are directors. They're trying to, if they can't take the business, they're taking them personally or something. It sounds a bit narky. Sounds a bit petty. I know there's two sides to every story, but yeah,
There's something else there. There's
yeah. Like
something else that
apparently they've got like a little animal farm there that the kids go and play at, and they love. Maybe they're not allowed to have a little animal farm in. Oh, it's basically a rural area, so I don't know. But it seems odd that after nearly 10 years, this is coming to a head. And then even when they've put in the application and paid, squillions to put in the application, that even during that process, they've been told to cease trading. So I don't know. Watch this space, I guess. I saw a post, not necessarily a promotional post from Young Henry's, but I'm friends with Richard Adamson, the owner of Young Henry's, and he's over in the UK, and he's joined forces with Elgood and Sons to brew Newtowner in the UK, and I think it's only the mid-strength Newtowner, to be stocked in Wetherspoons, which is, if you've been to the UK, Wetherspoons are a huge pub chain that sell $5 pints, and they're sort of the cornerstone. They don't have music, and they've got all these different things that they stand by to push out, cheap beers. And some people love Wetherspoons, some people don't. But I thought that was really exciting that he was over there brewing that, and they're going to be brewing that over there using his recipe. And I think the UK public will love it because Newtown has got that a real modern Australian pale flavour, and they might not be used to that, so it'll be cool.
Yeah, it seems really interesting that they've taken a brand from halfway around the world and decided to brew it there. Like I would have thought there'd be a bunch of breweries in the UK doing pale ales. Yeah, it's a good win.
Oh, there is. There's thousands, and not even pale
Yeah,
ales. Just yeah, but maybe that's just a different recipe, a little different ingredient. Maybe it's just you know the Aussie link that might be the seller. But
yeah,
uh,
yep.
cool to. I can't wait to see people smashing pints of Newtowner in UK pubs. So I hope that works out for them. And you had a story about Hawks Brewing.
Yeah, Hawke's Brewing. So another one of the latest breweries to announce low alcohol offerings. So they got a Half Pacific, which is a 1.75% pack ale with again, standard fruitiness associated with that style. I got a new mid lager, which seems to be a re-release of a 3.5% underdog session lager.
Yep.
And so 2 years ago, they released a half XPA, which is a 1.75% XPA. So one has to assume that they got pretty good market response from the XPA being released, and they've kind of extended their lower offerings. I was wondering because I'd got on their site to have a look at the beers, and they had the prices on there. And I also wonder whether this allows them to drop their carton prices down to where the big boys are at.
Hmm.
So the mid lager was priced at $55 for 24 by 375 mil carton, and the half XPA runs at $53 a carton. So that puts them smack bang against 4X Gold and the other kind of mid-strength offerings. So I wonder if that's a kind of a kind of a marketing decision as well.
Yeah. And not only that, but I know um, part of the story behind Hawks was they had to donate a certain amount to Landcare, which Bob Hawke started, and then was part of the deal for to use his name in the brewery and his image and things like that. That they actually donate a lot to Landcare, which is something that Bob Hawke started. So um, they've got to look at that. That's got to be factored into the price of what they're doing as well. Uh, that's really cool. Apparently, their venue's got a Chinese restaurant, like Chinese and Leisure Hall or something they call it. Um, and I reckon low out beers in pints with some sweet and sour pork or Mongolian lamb or something. Yeah, I'm all down for that.
Pint of Hawks XPA and a succulent Chinese meal.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe that's where that was shot. I'm actually going to crack a second can of this fantasy because it's an absolute cracker. You had Stony Creek in Ipswich. We'll be turning up the heat.
Yeah, I think this is the last beer news we've got. So yeah, Stony Creek Brewing, which is the old pump yard, so right in the center of Ipswich. We'll be turning up the heat when they host a sizzling chili beer and sausage festival in mid-October. Plenty of plenty of sausage fest puns through the press release for the for the festival, and they even admitted to that
Yeah.
come along and there'll be even more sausage puns. So they got all different sausage styles from around the world. You can match any of your sausage with offerings from the chili stalls that are there, or you can choose to make yourself suffer and enter one of the chili competitions they've got running on there. So plenty of beers on top, sausages and chilies, and it's raising money for prostate cancer research and rural aid. So
Well, I get the
good
prostate
sausages,
cancer
good beer.
research. Yeah, because that'll get a good that'll good to get work out with all the chili, but maybe rural aid, maybe not. But yeah, it sounds like a bit of fun. And what doesn't go better with beers than some nice fatty sausages and some chili sausages and stuff. So it sounds like a really cool event. So that's for beer news. Moving on to F1 news, and now that the summer break's over, F1's back. So Bottas and Perez signed for Cadillac. Great that they've gone for experience. However, I'm not too sure about Cadillac being the brand worldwide to bring benefits to them. It's going to be really interesting with the new regulations next year. And Bottas, even listening to a podcast this week with Bottas, he didn't think that it was in place, but he'll have to serve a full-place penalty when he starts in Melbourne next year. The rules were changed to calendar year, but it was only after he finished. So he'll still have to serve a full grid place penalty in Melbourne when he starts next year after his last race.
Just what you want when you're launching a brand new car
Yeah, so even if he
into
puts it on pole, he has to
F1.
start from fourth. Yeah, um, I think it's interesting that the whole Cadillac joining. Apparently, GM has got mountains of money that they're throwing. I don't know if Cadillac's the brand. I know Cadillac's launching in Australia. I'm sure they're probably doing the same thing in a lot of developed countries, but I don't know. We just had Zandvoort with Oscar scoring a grand slam. First time it's happened for 20 years or so for McLaren. So pole, fastest lap, led every lap, and the win. Norris was out with an engine issue. It's unfortunate to see both Ferraris out. And my driver of the day was Isaac Hadjar getting his first podium. I thought that was really cool.
Nice. Yeah, I have to admit, I haven't watched the F1 yet, but
Well,
I already know the results.
Monza's up next, so Monza's always big for Ferrari. I reckon we'll see Leclerc on the podium with Piastri, and maybe Norris will bounce back. If there was ever a race for Hamilton to impress the Tifosi about the 55 million euros he's on, I think it is at Monza. And you have a Wallabies update.
Yeah, Wallabies have had a 2 week break from playing against the Suffers, and they're playing against the Pumas in North Queensland. I can't remember the field.
Yeah,
So um, that's going to be an absolutely cracking game. Um, Argentina have really cemented their place in the top 10 over the last few years. They've always had a brilliant forward pack, really physical and well drilled, but their backs have really developed with a lot of flair and um, really good tactical kicking and decision making. So that's going to be a belter of a game. Um, and the thing that makes this really critical is these next 2 games against Argentina. So we're sixth, Argentina are seventh. And so later this year is when they draw up the schedule for the 2027 World Cup. And so the top 6 teams get their own pool. And after that, it's kind of, I don't know if it's round robin but basically, if you don't start in the top 6, then you're in one of those pools with one of the teams. They're in the top 6.
yeah,
So then basically, like you've good chance of losing one game, and then you've only got 2 other games to try and qualify into the quarters.
yeah.
So you want to get in your own pool, so you don't have to play New Zealand, England, France, or Ireland before the quarters. Just makes it that much harder to get out of the pool into the quarters if you're playing against one of those teams.
Do you think the warm weather will benefit us or Argentina up in North Queensland?
I mean, Argentina is fairly close to the equator. Probably be a bit more of a benefit to us, I suppose, because we're kind of used to the real hot tropics. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, I found a lot of the times when we go up north with when it starts to get a bit sticky is that just holding on to the ball. So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, humidity is a funny thing. So when I moved up from New South Wales to Queensland, so we moved up from I grew up in Gyra, so very cold location. We left there in winter, came to Queensland in summer, and so I was playing rugby union and league on the weekends. I came to Queensland and I couldn't do anything. I played golf,
Yeah,
That's how much I wasn't coping with humidity. So yeah, humidities are really, really hard to battle if you're not used to it.
yeah, yeah. Very. You need to acclimatate. Yeah, acclimatize to it.
Yeah.
So after everything that we've spoken about today, the last thing we've got is something I'm really excited about is United We Ride. So I've gassed on about it a little bit over the last month or so, but I am very, very happy to hear that my podcast counterpart will be joining me on Saturday from Gasoline Alley in Slacks Creek. So the United Ride event is happening at every Harley Davidson dealership in Australia and New Zealand for Harley Davidson Day this Saturday. We're raising money for the Salvation Army. Check our Facebook group for the link. You can donate to myself or Angus. Anything over $2 is tax deductible. And we're actually going to be riding from Slacks Creek out to Willowbank Raceway. We have the opportunity to cut some laps on QR if we want. It's just, I think it's a really good way to blow out the cobwebs on the bikes, raise some money, and a good excuse for you to get your bike back on the road.
Yeah, I'll be literally blowing cobwebs out of my bike.
You used to ride
So go on.
everywhere, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I got a screw in my rear tire pretty much about 12 months ago, and it was a week before they brought in the 50 cent public transport fares. So I'm
Yeah,
like, do I spend $600 on brand new tires for the bike, or do I put that into 50 cent fares?
yeah, I get that.
50 cent
I,
fares. So
I haven't pressured you into get spending that money for your tires, have I?
hey,
I haven't pressured you, have I?
no, I've been
It's just a good
basically
excuse.
I've been needing a reason to get the tires on. Like I take the kids for riding the bike, and they'll hit me up about me riding, like taking them to school on the bike, and
Yeah.
so no, it's just another reason to get
Okay.
it done.
I'm glad. Don't feel peer pressure. I'm happy to be your excuse to get the bike back on the road.
Yeah, so I'll have a brand new set of Pilot Road sixes on Saturday.
Nice, nice.
Mm.
You won't be leaning into many corners at QR with the fresh rubber
They'll be bedded in by then.
though.
It'll be fine.
Fantastic. Oh well, I'm really looking forward to catching up with you, and we might even make a pit stop on the way home and visit someone.
Well, we'll be riding back through Ipswich.
Switch through to Brizzy. I'm sure we'll find somewhere where we can pop in and take a selfie and pop it in the group.
Yeah, well, Stony Creek is in Ipswich. I mean, it's right in the city centre there.
Yeah,
Where else? Yeah, we'll work it out.
yeah, yeah. All right, mate. Great chat. Thank you for popping on the final episode. Till next week, and I'll see you Saturday.
See you, Luke. See you, everyone.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.